260 for the weekend of December 16th. Streamline recommends Easy in the top Netflix spot for the second time. The comedy series has much to say. It follows the struggles of contemporary young people who are trying to get ahead in the gig economy, sorting through the nuances of contemporary social progressivism. But it's really fun. The characters are mostly people you'd want to at least get a drink with, which makes this one to check out. Recent release of The Crown certainly overshadowed shows like Easy and other Netflix projects that debuted this month. That lavish and extremely expensive to create show is very good and deserving of the attention, though. As such, that project remains high on the list. Wormwood joins the list this week. This Errol Morris docudrama blend is earning a ton of comparisons to his 1988 documentary, The Thin Blue Line. This Netflix original focuses on a mysterious death that might have involved the CIA. Morris enlisted high-profile actors including Peter Sarsgaard to recreate relevant scenes from that time. This is a controversial practice that Morris has used in the past, as it dramatizes arguments the filmmaker is presenting alongside hard evidence and interviews, as an exact recreation is impossible. Critics have expressed frustration that these dramatizations are presented as definitive. Still, the performances are affecting and make the show's surrounding factual material much easier to grasp. Including Wormwood also somewhat goes against our typical methodology of only including explicitly scripted shows. Wormwood follows more of a documentary-style format and features many actual, on-camera interviews, with still including the show here due to its recreated scenes. Zach Dilgard Netflix Wormwood on Netflix. This week, Netflix earned 9 nominations for the 75th Annual Golden Globe Awards, a best for the company. The Crown and Stranger Things 2 each earned spots in the Best TV Series Drama category. Other Netflix shows with nominations included Glow, 13 Reasons Why, Ozark, and Master of None. Overall, this has been a great year for the company. Vulture argued this week that Netflix became the best network for scripted TV. Streamline agrees. We've compiled a ranking of the platform's best original shows from 2017, as well as its most underrated material. Still, the company has faced some troubles recently. The sitcom, The Ranch, returns this week, a fact that Netflix's public relations site doesn't even mention right now. Star Danny Masterson was fired earlier this month after multiple rape allegations. HuffPost reported that a Netflix executive had told a woman that the company didn't believe the rape accuses. The woman then responded that she was one of the victims. Netflix fired that executive this week. Although not exactly a blow to the company, it was also troubling that a subject of controversial documentary series, Making a Murderer, had his conviction upheld in court last week after being overturned by a lower court in 2016. Brendan Dassey is a learning disabled individual whom police badgered into a murder confession while he was a teenager, a central point in the Netflix series. This outcome unfortunately shows the limits of such journalistic endeavors, regardless of the massive popularity. Most troubling of this week's streaming news: the FCC repealed net neutrality protections. This could mean that internet providers could charge more for access to Netflix, hindering the platform's ability to compete as effectively in the marketplace. In much lighter news, Netflix released a bit of internal data about its subscribers' viewing habits in 2017. Apparently the most devoured Netflix show both in the United States and globally was The Incredible American Vandal. This means that tons of subscribers binged the program for more than 2 hours a day. Clearly, that show, a parody docuseries about a teenager accused of drawing penises on his teacher's cars, had something for everyone. The most savored in both the US and globally was The Crown, meaning many watched it but for less than 2 hours a day. The show's first season did progress at a beautiful but glacial pace that left many outlets wondering if the show was good or not, so this makes sense. The service also had a viral moment when it called out the 53 people who'd watched A Christmas Prince every day for the past 18 days on Twitter, referencing a holiday movie that's been poorly reviewed but popular. But after going viral, the tweet also caused a wave of criticism aimed at the service. It's been heretofore unknown that the service had such in-depth data about its subscribers' viewing habits. That the company would use the data to make fun of the users, especially about those watching a bad movie created by the company itself, was deemed creepy by many outlets. The company ended up releasing a statement: "The privacy of our members' viewing is important to us. This information represents overall viewing trends, not the personal viewing information of specific, identified individuals. Stream at your own risk." Also below the show recommendations, Streamline includes a suggested documentary as well as a list of other shows and movies joining the service this week. G-Subject HP note: this list only includes shows that debuted the most recent episode less than a year ago. Much like the main list, it prioritizes newness. 1. Easy plot: Chicagoans find the best lives, grow. The characters are fun and believable. The show's stories play out in a rare balance of realism, but with solid plots that keep things moving. Con: episodes are hit or miss and can occasionally feel too aimless. Very much a show with high highs and low lows. Netflix 2. Wormwood plot: son tries solving father's death. Pro: critics comparing this Errol Morris project favorably to his 1988 movie, Thin Blue Line. Con: there's been some controversy around Morris' continued use of dramatic recreations to illustrate his documentary-style message. Netflix 3. The Crown plot: the Queen overcomes royal problems. Pro: the show looks absolutely beautiful. It's solidly interesting enough, while not being that edgy, so it's a perfect watch for families. Con: not enough happens and it can be pretty boring at times. Robert Viglasky, Netflix 4. Lady Dynamite plot: life through a bipolar lens. Pro: Maria Bamford is so good. The writing is inventive, it's a worthy successor to Mitch Hurwood's other show, Arrested Development. Con: following the narrative can be tricky at times. Beth Dubber, Netflix 5. Godless plot: outlaws war in the West. Pro: both the character writing and the action sequences are great, which is rare. A western with ideas about gender and race feels contemporary. Con: the long, cinematic shots of the genre can be trying. Ursula Coyote, Netflix 6. Alias Grace plot: questionable murder conviction of immigrant. Pro: good news for Handmaid's Tale fans based on a Margaret Atwood novel. This is a well-done story that showcases resilience in the face of oppression. Con: the pace is a bit slow. Netflix Sabrina Lantos 7. SHE's Got to Have It plot: artist balances having 3 lovers. Pro: Spike Lee is revisiting his 1986 debut film for contemporary times, and he directed each episode of this update. Con: it's perhaps too many episodes. David Lee, Netflix 8. Mindhunter plot: the FBI interviews serial killers. Pro: David Fincher directs a few of the episodes and the lead, Jonathan Groff, is great. Con: there's a lot of content about grisly murders these days. Patrick Harbour on Netflix released December 15, 2017. So for this week, since Wormwood is already a documentary style, Streamline is recommending it here as well. For more context, listen to the interview that The Ringer did with Errol Morris on the Channel 33 podcast. This is a plug, but HuffPost published a comprehensive story on the extreme economic challenges facing young people today compared to preceding American generations. Many Netflix shows, such as Easy and She's Gotta Have It, address these issues, while The Crown obviously does not. So if you want additional reading, Streamline highly recommends this piece, and here are the shows and movies arriving on Netflix next week. Deck 80. Hello, My 20s, Season 2, Netflix Original. Deck 19. Miss Me This Christmas. Russell Howard Recalibrate, Netflix Original. The Indian Detective, Season 1, Netflix Original. You Can't Fight Christmas. Deck 20. La Casa de Papel, Season 1, Netflix Original. Deck 21. Peaky Blinders, Season 4, Netflix Original. Deck 22. 72 Dangerous Animals, Latin America, Season 1, Netflix Original. Bright, Netflix Original. Dope, Season 1, Netflix Original. Fuller House, Season 3, Netflix Original. Rosario T. Harris, Season 1. The Toys That Made Us, Season 1, Netflix Original. Download Todd Van Lulling, Senior Staff Writer, HuffPost.